guys, Blue Edge here. Today I would actually like to do a bit of a review video. I shop with American Muscle a lot. I get a lot of their stuff. I get probably something new, every couple weeks from there. And I've always been really happy with the products they have. They have amazing products, but one in particular was just an absolute nightmare. I absolutely hated it. I don't even have it on my car anymore. If you've seen any of my other videos, I have the sequential taillights with smoked housings. Because it's smoked, the light isn't all that terribly bright, but it's still noticeable, but I kind of wanted it to be a little more brighter. So I decided to go with the LED kit. They came out with a new LED kit, I guess. It doesn't have the resistors or anything. It comes with the bulbs and then the modified flasher that slows down the sequence a little bit. Well, I had got that. And, I read up a lot of the stuff on it. I even asked one of the guys from the support team, I'm like, hey, do I need the resistors for this? And they said no, that it should be fine because the flasher should make up for that, I guess. Well, I get the bulbs and everything in the mail, which took a really long time. Usually it takes like a week max to get stuff to me. Well, I didn't have it for like 3 weeks, and I was sending people emails, I was calling them, and nobody would just respond to me, which right there, that really kind of pissed me off. So I get them in the mail, I go out to my car, I put in the bulbs, which first off, the bulbs have to go in a certain way, because there's two sides to it. Well, it fits in whether you have it flipped either way, but they'll only light up if you have them in a certain way, which I find to be kind of stupid. So I put that in, I put in the flasher, and I turn them on, and the flasher just makes this horrible grinding noise. Like, it wasn't even flashing, how usually when you turn on your turn signal like this? Well, it just made this horrible noise. So I take it out, and I put in my factory flasher that I have in here, and it worked. But as I was driving it one time, I noticed that my odometer on my dash would flash every time I turned on the turn signals, and then when I hit the brakes, it would just completely turn off. I'll include a couple videos here. So I call up their customer service, and I'm like, hey, this is the problem I'm having. What the hell is going on? And this one guy just had like no clue. He's like, oh, I've never heard of that happening before. Maybe try doing this. And he just wasn't helpful whatsoever. So I hang up and I call and I get another guy. And I was asking him some questions, and he was like, tell you what, you can just go ahead and return the flashers, because those might be the problem. Which, by the way, it didn't say in the kit that it came with the modified flasher. It didn't say that. All it said was it came with LED bulbs and a flasher adapter, which I thought that's just something that you put on your turn signal, like the harness that you plug your flasher into, and then you plug your actual flasher into the adapter. So I ordered another modified flasher, and I ended up getting two. Well, both of them actually did that grinding thing. So I go ahead and I return those, and I got a pretty decent amount. I got like $90 back for them because they're both pretty expensive. So I take out the bulbs, and I was doing some research on, why I was doing this. I was Googling, this and this happens with LED taillight bulbs. And they were saying that you do need the resistors. So I go to AutoZone, Advanced Auto Parts, O'Reilly's, all these different places, and I managed to scrape together 6 resistors because there's 3 bulbs in each taillight. So I try using the quick splice connectors. Well, they weren't cutting through the insulation, to work. And so, I think I have it all connected, but it wasn't making contact with the wires. I turned them on, and it's still doing the ridiculous flashing on the odometer. Well, so I finally resort to using some of my butt splice connectors and using those to connect the wires. And then everything is working perfectly fine. I didn't have the flashers to actually test because I had sent them back. But then the odometer flashing wasn't happening. So I have them in for a while, and I go to work, all these different places. I'm driving to school and everything for a couple days, and I wanted to show one of my friends. I'm like, hey, check this out. I got some LED taillight bulbs. Well, so, I go into my car, I turn on my hazards to get them flashing with the sequence and everything, and one of the bulbs appears to be burned out. I'm like, what the shit? They're LEDs. They're supposed to last. Raxiom, they usually make some pretty good stuff. And so I go home and I tear everything apart. I break into my tail, and I realize the resistors were getting so hot that they were actually melting shit in my taillights. I still have a resistor melted in to one of my bulb plugs that you plug the bulb into and then screw it into the taillights. I still have a resistor in there because it's melted in. I can't break it out. It's melted into the harness. At least everything still works. I was like, okay, you know what? I'm just done with this. I'm tired of fucking around with it. So I cut the resistors out. I just get rid of the LEDs. Luckily, I didn't throw away my halogen bulbs. I had them in a bag in my house. Yeah, that really could have done some serious damage. That could have caused my car to catch on fire. And I was just unbelievably pissed. I still had the bulbs because I'm tired of fucking around with sending stuff back. It's been a couple months, I think, since I did this, because this was during the summer. It was like right about the time, it was right before school was going to start. But yeah, I can't even express how pissed I was about this, because I had in total probably spent about $120 on everything, and I can't even use any of it. But yeah, so by all means, I'm not saying, don't get the LED taillight bulb kit because, this and that's going to happen. It's just one of those things that, projects won't always turn out as you want them to. I've been both absolutely happy with LEDs, and then, yeah, there's this one time that, things didn't really turn out too well. I have LED turn signal bulbs in my headlights. I have an LED dome light. I have LED light strips in my trunk. Yeah, it's just one of those things, crap happens. And I know for a fact that those kits work. I've seen them in person, and no one has ever really told me, hey, this happened. It very well just could have been, a one-time thing. Something could have just been wrong with it. Crap happens.